yes, talk into that end. Whole thing like this. All right. Woohoo! Happy Monday. Welcome. We begin with announcements.
Thank you. Hey, what's up, y'all? How's it going? Well, for those of you who know me and I've talked to recently, y'all know that I've got a new album out. Thank you. Called Cape of Dare. Y'all should go stream it. Listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you might listen to your stuff. Go give it a stream on like Tidal or something like that. I'd like to see some streams.
What's your name?
My name's Gabe Parsons. Yeah. Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you can see it. There's all the links and stuff like that there. Yeah, it's super important to me, and I'd love for y'all to like listen to it and let me know what you think. Cool, thanks.
Thanks, Gabe.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maddie. This is Graham. We are one half of Floral Distortion. Oh. Yay! So we just released our debut single, Swallow at Midnight, and it is available on Bandcamp, Spotify, and Apple Music. So give us some streams so we can save up to buy stickers for our first show or something.
Need all those pennies. Need all those pennies.
Yeah.
And just of note, when I Googled floral distortion after they sent me the slide, that's like actually a thing that florists do. So someday I want to hear the like name of the story of how you came up with the band name. Okay, make up a good story, and then we'll talk about it later.
Hello, what's up, guys? There's a lot of new people in here that I feel like I just haven't met. My name is Johnny. I'm a senior. I'm here to promote two really quick events on this upcoming Saturday, the 26th. Me and my people with Structure Music Group are throwing a little darty. That's that right there. We have a special treat for the first 200 people who pull up. It'll be a really good time and a good way to start your Mardi Gras off. And then 2 days later, my people at Free Water are throwing a party with Don Tolliver at the Fillmore. I have a special code for those tickets for those who are interested. Save some money on the tickets. It's just going to be Free Water University, Loyola. Save some money on it, have a good time, and then you can get your Lundi Gras started with us. So yeah, that's all I have. I love you all. Have a great rest of your day, and yeah.
Thank you, John. Hey, John, next time you make a slide for Forum, make one that's not the shape of a piece of paper, but make one that's the shape of a screen. Yeah, but you sent it to me. Like, y'all, come on. Y'all are being professionals. Sorry, it's my job. I have to harass you about it. The screen is shaped like this. Anyway, okay, here you go.
Thank you. How you doing, everyone? I'm Ben. On Friday at 1 o'clock, you got to come out to Dylan Nail's house at 1026 Hillary Street. We got some great music happening before the parades. We got Frankie White. We got Jolie and the Drifters. We got Lotta DePaul. 3 people who are currently not at Loyola, but were at Loyola. Shout out graduation. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. We're going to be selling food and drink. I think 2 free beer tickets. Pretty good. Free beer. That's all I got to say. 21 plus to drink beer. We'll be checking.
Yeah. This is not New Orleans at Carnival. You have to be 21 to drink beer.
What's up, y'all? I didn't get the flyer memo, so I don't have one. But my name is Royale, if you don't know me. And I have a single coming out next Friday, which I'm stating it this week because we won't be here next week. It's called It Boy. It's my first single I'm ever putting out. It was written by me and produced by Will Harrington. If y'all know Will Harrington, he's really dope. He produced it, written by me. It's gonna be out everywhere, called It Boy. And it's on my social media. The link is pre-save link in bio. My Instagram is I am Royale with 2 I, so that's I am Royale, Royale. Yeah, I would love for y'all to check it out. So yeah, peace.
Thanks. So just to make sure everybody does get the memo, if you have a graphic that you would like people to see as they're coming into Forum, send it to musicindustry@loyola.edu. In the subject line, just put Forum announcement. It would be really great if you made the graphic rectangular, like landscape, 16 by 9 to fit on the screen. That would be super cool. But send them to me ideally by Friday afternoon. Like if you send it at 4 o'clock on Monday, it's probably not going to make the list, right? Because we do have to assemble this before the thing starts. So you do that if you have stuff that you want to get up there. Today's forum, we have all sorts of cool people doing cool entrepreneurial things, and it is actually being hosted by my colleague, Professor Rainey Antoine. So I'm going to turn it over to him and let him do all the intros. Because he told me he would MC, so here he goes.
Here I go. What up? Dang, forum done changed a lot. It used to be like everybody. I guess it's virtual now? Is that a thing? Yeah, I dig it. What up, y'all? Y'all gonna have to talk to me. I'm not used to this. Y'all sit there and look at me. Y'all know how I do. Y'all gonna have to talk. You did. So welcome. Firstly, if you all didn't know, Loyola has a Center for Entrepreneurship and Community Development. And our director is here to speak to you all, let you know, A, what in the world is that? And 2, why you need to know what the world that is. Yeah? So, Bara, you want to come talk to the peoples?
Well, I thought we'd let Gino go first. And
Okay. Oh, let's go. So then I'll do another intro. So shout out to me doing forum for the first time. So first, before we holler at Bara, GNO Inc. has a representative here. His name is Grady Fitzpatrick. I'm gonna let him tell you what his title is and everything and why. Senior Vice President, I believe, of Business Development. And we had a call, a few calls actually. He's a cool dude. And my whole thing was like, look, all this school stuff is cool, but how do you make money in the music industry in New Orleans? Like, for real, where's the bread at? And Grady was like, that's a great question. And the city cares about that, and we're doing something about it at GNO Inc. So I said, cool, can you come tell our students about it? And Grady was like, yes. So Grady Fitzpatrick. That's when y'all. Okay, so I have a mic already, and I guess you could use this one. You can have a seat if you like.
And then how are we running through that?
Is that running there or at the computer? At the computer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, it's a PDF. Hey, guys. Hey, everyone.
That's all good.
Grady Fitzpatrick. I run business development for an organization called Greater New Orleans, Inc. Has anyone heard of that organization? I'd be shocked, but there we go. Look at the front row helping us out. So our goal, really, if we go to the second slide.
You got it, Bar?
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
You sure? Yeah. Okay. I think just click on that, maybe.
Yeah, we can scroll.
Yeah, that's why. Otherwise, the graphics get all screwy. But our mission is to grow the economy and grow it in a more diverse way. I think, we are known in Louisiana as an oil and gas and hospitality economy. And our organization really works at doing two things: creating a business environment where people want to create wealth, invest, start companies, and then business development, which is kind of attracting those new industries. And so at the end of the day, we want folks like you graduating from Loyola, graduating from all our universities, to have job opportunities in the region and not have to, if you're from here, not have to leave your family. And maybe for some of you, not going back to your family.
Yeah. So really quick, the thing that you said that I know a few of our students really care about is the one you graduate and have a job opportunity. Mm-hmm. You're saying GNO Inc. is doing something to make sure the music industry has those offerings in the greater New Orleans area? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was just kind of the lead-in slide. So a couple years ago, it was really pre-COVID, we said, look, we've got other industries we're recruiting. We're working very hard on the video game industry. We've got some incentives around that, software development in general, some sustainable energy, offshore wind. But we are a music city. We're a music state, and it had become, I think it's for decades, is that we're a live performance town. When you want to then go make your record, have representation, and this is a generalization, but you really would look beyond Louisiana and, I feel like I need to go to Nashville, I feel like I need to go to LA, New York.
Atlanta, Miami.
And so what can we do as an organization to change that and to keep those dollars flowing in New Orleans versus exiting? And so we created this initiative called the New Orleans Music Economy Initiative with the tagline, New Orleans making music, make money. And got a bunch of stakeholders, PJ Morton, Raj Smoove, folks that were involved in starting this Loyola music program, Reed Wick and others, to say, let's get together. We actually commissioned a third-party study that looked at what we needed to do around to make that a true music economy and not a live performance economy.
So for our students who may understand some of the findings of that study, what is it going to take for that to happen in New Orleans?
So when we looked at it, there was, everyone probably has opinions about what that is, and I don't think there's no wrong answers, but what could we focus on? And there was about 5 different things that came out of that. One being policy, so putting incentives in place that can help these music companies grow, similar to if you look at the film credit, obviously you see film trucks all around town, they're incentivized to come here. So policy was one. Place-based development, creating more of a music hub. So when you've got a company or you're starting out or you need representation, they're kind of all in one, not all of them, but the majority would be in kind of one location. It's similar to a university feel where you're all connected.
Yeah, so you're saying the city's working on having like a main hub where stakeholders in the entertainment industry kind of plant root, like lawyers.
Exactly, yeah. So there's a model in Chicago called 2112. Mm-hmm. It started as just rehearsal space, but now it's co-working, it's set building, it's posters, art, design, really the whole spectrum of kind of the supply chain, if you will, of musicians.
Got you.
So the city, we're sort of, and I should say, we're not officially the city organization. We're a nonprofit, so we have a lot of autonomy, and we don't have money to necessarily build a building, but we can put the players in place, make introductions to kind of drive that forward.
Got it. And let's backtrack a little bit. GNO Inc., what is that?
Yes.
Who are you?
So we are funded by the business community, really with the mission of, the mission statement is, create a thriving economy and a excellent quality of life for everyone. So we want, our goal is to create a business environment where companies want to be here. We don't have to be attracting them. If you look at Atlanta and Austin, those are thriving economies and with excellent quality of life. So that's kind of our goal as an organization.
All right. So.
Just tell me when you want me to move the slide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I think the next one may be incentives. But let me talk about a couple of those others. Yeah, that's a good segue. So one of the other ones was we do have, and there are a lot of Loyola graduates who have, Mid-Citizen Entertainment is a great artist management company. There's attorneys doing great work. There's sound recording, rehearsal spaces, but there's a disconnect. It was what we found. We did a ton of stakeholder interviews. And if you know, you know, but if you don't, it's very hard to connect. And so there's a guy in town, Sam Bowler, who's launched, it's called Culturalist. This is just a couple screenshots. And we're actually adding, so there's the music portal. We're actually adding educational resources and business resources, as well as artists. So artists, or anybody tied to the music industry, or really any of these disciplines, go to Culturalist, check it out. You can put up your profile and then sort of navigate. He explains it almost like a curated Craigslist for the arts. And so we've commissioned him to kind of add additional resources on the connectivity piece, sort of marketing the music assets in town.
Got you. So culturalist is like you place a profile up, let all the people that navigate to the site know your services you provide, et cetera.
Yeah, yeah. So you could have your Patreon link. You can have some of them used just as their webpage as artists, and then there's a lot of communication. There's grant opportunities. It's sort of just all-encompassing database for arts.
Got you. And this is kind of speaking to your connectivity goal.
Exactly. Yeah. This is sort of one of the first things we did around connectivity was kind of partner with Culturalist around that. And then I think next slide might be the incentives. Yeah, so I touched on this, and you think about, I'm going to start a company, that costs money. You obviously, have payroll and things like that as you grow, and so the state has been very proactive in developing some incentive programs around music companies. And so those are full-time employees, W-2s, we call them, but there's a payroll rebate on some of if you're an entertainment or a music company in Louisiana. So very unique, really there's no one else doing that across the country.
So being how exclusive that that portion is to New Orleans, if they're going to start their own music business, the incentives would tell you keep it here?
Correct. Yeah, you'd say, obviously it depends on the businesses, and our goal is to make it financially, easy to start the business here, utilizing those incentives. And then, if you've got, a tech tie-in, there's some around software development, there's incentives, and then even just recording an album here, you have to spend a certain amount, but there's a rebate for things like that as well.
I got you. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I thought it kind of led into one of the other pieces is just marketing in general. We're not known as a music business, place for those types of services. So that's where kind of that tagline, New Orleans, making music, make money. And we're doing some, different creative things around social to get that message out. Bar, I think you could, let's see what so this will kind of segue into some of what Bar was talking about, but we launched this last month around anyone starting a business in New Orleans. Again, that connectivity piece. This is a new website, Startup NOLA, that really lists everything tied to entrepreneurship. If you're looking for a job at a startup, you're looking to raise money, you're looking for what are the services, you're looking for maybe other programs. It's a really cool site to poke around and sort of learn what those services are, there's a lot of startups on here. What are the music startups, for instance, in town? And so just wanted to share that with you guys around that.
And real quick, that word startup is a bit scary at times. What would be the advantage of joining a startup as a college graduate, in your opinion?
Well, I think if you've got a unique idea, you've got a passion for something, then start exploring that. Work with Bar and the team to say, hey, is this a valuable idea, and something that potentially, obviously making money is important. It could also be more socially focused as well.
Yeah, and then as a college graduate applying to a startup, why would I do that if I'm just playing devil's advocate here, obviously. Why would I apply to a startup in New Orleans over going to LA where the big business is?
Yeah, like just to work for a startup.
Right.
Yeah. Well, in New Orleans, I think we're a little scrappier. You're going to get probably exposed and be able to probably get, rise through the ranks if you're a good worker. Whereas, there's a lot more competition in those larger markets.
Yeah, so kind of like big fish, little pond type thing.
Exactly. And that's a pitch we make to companies and talent quite often. So good question, though. And then let's check out this might be the mic'd up yet program. So mainly what are the classes? Are you guys sophomores, juniors, seniors?
Freshmen, raise the hands.
Oh, freshmen. Oh, good one.
All right,
freshmen.
cool. Sophomores, raise the hands.
All right.
Awesome. Juniors.
So we got a full mix.
Any seniors. Shout out to Kyla in the booth.
Okay. Awesome.
Hey, Greg, they're taking this and all the students have to watch it at some point.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just had a meeting about this today. Rainey was busy teaching class. But as part of this music initiative, we were able to raise some money around what we're calling a fellowship program. So this will be marketed towards recent graduates, which is why I was kind of asking about the seniors. But this will hopefully be growing throughout the next few years. So just wanted to get it on everyone's radar. But it's the Music Industry Career Development University Partnership. And we've launched this with, I mentioned Mid-Citizen Entertainment, who is Reed Martin is a Loyola grad and started this artist management company. And he said, it's real hard for me to hire new people.
Real quick.
Yeah.
That company manages who?
Big Frida, Sweet Crude, Tank and the Bangas. Those are sort of the bigger acts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
And for them to take on new staff without having kind of those artists generating revenue is very difficult. So we've launched this program where we're providing funding to pay the fellows, we call them fellowship program, to help pay those salaries so they can bring folks on staff. It'll be part-time, and we're actually talking today about maybe finding work at a venue, your other 20 hours, but you can then get a full 12 months of experience working for an artist management company, hopefully with the goal of they want to bring you on full-time after that 12 months. We're going to start with just a few companies, but for those juniors and sophomores, we hope this will be a big, kind of a transformative program to help our music businesses grow and to really importantly is retain the talent in New Orleans.
Right. So if I'm framing this for our students, we have quite a few seniors that I know Kyle specifically, wants to be in this entertainment industry full-fledged. You're saying someone, I'm just using it as an example, Kyle, you know how I do. So Kyle's graduating. You're saying Kyle should be aware of Mic'd Up, should be involved, and Kyle could get a job working for...
Yeah, Mid-Citizen, Single Lock was another one, and then GenRise was, those are our three right now.
Got you. Through Mic'd Up, could get a job working there, and as long as he does what Loyola's taught him to do, there's a higher probability that he can create a nice in for himself in these companies, get hired full-time after his year, and boom.
You got it.
You
nailed it.
That's the goal.
That's the
here.
value proposition for everyone is, in the next few weeks, we're going to work through all the different universities and get that information out to the students. There's an application process and an interview process, and then but it's keep that talent, get the real world skills. Maybe you find some artists of your own, help place some of that, and build your career.
Got it. So from what I'm gathering from our conversation thus far, is GNO is definitely encouraging the bootstrap mentality.
Yeah, I think we would love to bring in. We have conversations with companies and we bring big companies in, and that's great as well. But I think we have to be realistic. It's like if you start companies from people that are based here, that love it here, they're not going to leave, and so but it's all about talent. These companies want talent, and so we need to produce that.
Yeah, well, we got that here
Exactly.
for sure.
That's why
I
I'm
could
here.
say that unequivocally.
That's why I'm here.
For sure.
So yeah, that was kind of the workforce component of the music initiative, music economy.
Cool.
And I think that, this is, I think we just got 2 more slides, but when Rainey and I were talking about kind of what are these companies, and there's just numerous, with tech, music ties into a lot of what what our tech and video game companies are doing. So I think there's just a lot of opportunity for you guys to look, and the startup NOLA will have a lot of that information as well.
Okay, cool.
And then I just wanted to pitch one more thing, which I think the registration closed at 5, but I can if you email Rainey and get in touch with me. Does anyone ever have heard of Game Camp or anyone participated in it? So this was launched last year. Microsoft opened this up to New Orleans we're the only market that's going to get this every year, but you basically form a team or apply if you're passionate about video games. That could be writer, storyteller, musician, artist, developer. You get placed on a team over 3 months being mentored, and you sort of build a proof of concept video game. So it was an awesome, 170 folks participated last year. I would encourage you, if you're interested at all, just ping Rainey and he can get in touch and we can see about extending that deadline a little bit. I know they're open to that, but great experience, real world experience.
And then at the end of this camp, what happens?
So that's a great question. We basically provide a lot of resources.
GNO Inc.
GNO Inc., Microsoft, some of our other partner organizations to make sure you're exposed to what those other companies are. There's still mentorship beyond the program. Some people have kept their team together and built that video game. Microsoft does reach out. I think they reached out to about 15 folks that were, they thought were high performers about potential internships with Microsoft. So you get a lot of exposure and a lot of resources, both locally and with Microsoft.
So as a musician, I'm on a team and I'm writing the music for these games that they're creating. If it's dope enough, Microsoft calls me and our team and says, do you want to make that game for Xbox? That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, that was the goal. So Water Seed is, I don't know if anyone knows Lou Hill.
Y'all know Lou. He be around.
He participated, had no idea about anything. He loved video games, and he wrote the music, but then got exposed to, you might not be writing code, but you're helping with project management. You're creative people. You're all kind of working together on the script, and so he's taken his concept and is continuing to work with a developer. And Microsoft, he's on Microsoft's radar as well. We actually had him do the music for the video.
Awesome.
So it's a really cool program.
So he got to connect with y'all.
Exactly.
Because of that.
Yep.
Bootstrap.
So really cool program.
I like it. That's the last slide?
That's the last. Yeah, last slide.
I dig it. All right. Before we go any further, y'all know how I do. Questions, concerns? What's up?
It's not exactly music industry, but it's about.
Go for it.
What do y'all do as a nonprofit to help with lower income areas and kind of fixing that disproportion throughout New Orleans, through jobs or community service? Or what do y'all do to set up for the lower income areas?
What news outlet are you with, ma'am?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
So, for us, because we're focused on industry, it's all about talent. It's all about providing workforce training to get them into jobs. So we've actually got someone on staff. It's all focused on STEM with K through 12. And then we work with a lot of nonprofit training providers, as well as our 2- and 4-year schools, to develop pathways into kind of what are those growing careers. Because a job is really the best way and the only way out of that. So that's what we're focused on, the workforce training side of those. So not as much on the social services, more on the kind of what you'd say professional services. Oh, how does who get you or?
No. When you're saying the workforce preparation and the STEM for the K through 12.
So we're kind of embedded in a lot of the high schools, working through different nonprofit training providers within there's STEM NOLA and some other ones. But we work through K through 12 and the nonprofit training providers to access those communities. And we're region wide. We're not just the city, so that's why we focus more on higher ed. Although we have in the past 2 years with COVID brought someone on board for the K through 12, but there's other folks doing that work.
And when you say region wide, we have people from legit all over the world in here.
Yeah.
When you say region wide, GNO standing for Greater New Orleans, what does region wide mean?
Yep, great question. So we go down to Plaquemines Parish, the mouth of the river, and then on the other side of Lake Pontchartrain, where you have St. Tammany and Tangipahoa and Washington Parish. So we cover that area, and then as you head over to Baton Rouge, we handle some of those parishes along the river until you get to Baton Rouge.
So from here to LSU and stretch out some, and that's the region.
Pretty much, yeah.
I dig it. Y'all dig it? That makes sense? Shakes heads? Nods heads? Okay. Other concerns, questions? We got one over there.
Conditions in a green room, more stable.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to, as we sort of embarked on this initiative, we looked at our city partners really to focus more on that kind of individual. We're thinking a little bit more broadly with programs like Mic'd Up or, place-based development. I think everyone involved in this initiative is either a musician or tied to it. I mean, we're more the connector, and so anything we can do to help, like I know there's lack of rehearsal space in town, and we sort of do what we can, but we're sort of more focused on the kind of some of the larger issues. Right.
Well, name names, dog. You talking real spicy.
Years. I mean, for the past 25 years, obviously, but ever since COVID hit, and obviously with the way music goes in the city,
Right. So, yeah, one thing that, like the Nightmare, I don't know if you've heard about Nightmare, like we were sort of, not behind that, but that was one thing that came out of the study that then we kind of pushed to the city, because that's very city focused, and worked with some, Howlin' Wolf, and there was a few others. So, yeah, we just sometimes have to take a lead role and sometimes a supportive role as a staff of 20 folks.
What's up, Jeff?
Just to be clear, there is a musicians union. They have been outside local here for 100 years.
There it is.
If they're not meeting your needs, you should voice your opinion to them.
1,000.
There is a musicians union.
There you go.
I just want to know who didn't get you. I just want to know who didn't get you your green M&Ms, bro. That's what I want to know. Who did it? Who hurt you? Nah, no, that's really valid. Like that's real rap. And I feel like GNO Inc. with things like Mic'd Up, with the Microsoft partnership, with the music initiative, y'all are trying to tackle some of those things that he's discussing.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. Questions, concerns? I don't know how this time goes, Jeff. I got it. Questions, concerns? You have a guy sitting here who says he wants to help you get a job.
I will say there's a Work NOLA is another site I probably should have put up there, but that's a job
word.
board and a talent board that we run at our organization. I mean, you can
GNO Inc. runs Work NOLA?
So you can put a talent profile on there, and also look for jobs, and there's a lot of career resources on there as well. So
Okay,
I
cool.
should've
Worknola.com, I assume?
Yep.
Kyle?
Yeah, so the Mic'd Up will, in the next month, we'll be putting out that application. And then, we're not looking for like each discipline. I think if you're a songwriter, apply to Game Camp. I mean, I guess, do you have something specific you were looking for with songwriters, or?
He said if you got a cool idea, they want to know about it so they could do something about it.
Well, like I'll give you another example. Like one of the Mic'd Up program I think is really cool because it not only is providing jobs, but then when I wrote the proposal, it was like, well, if there's more people out there looking for musicians and looking for content, more connected to the film and the TV work here, you're sort of building, you're providing more opportunities there. So again, that's kind of how we look at it more on a kind of a macro level than, all these individuals, because you start building that music side of the business, then you're going to have more opportunities for everyone involved in the ecosystem of music.
So Mic'd Up would be the thing GNO Inc. has going right now that would more directly speak to a songwriter.
I think eventually, yeah, I think so, eventually. You know, but I also look at culturalists. Okay, I'm a songwriter. Is there, you know, the grant opportunities on culturalists for something? Is there, you know, other parts of that, you know, value chain of music that is probably listed on there, you know, producers, whatever it may be. You guys probably know more about it than I do, but
I guess.
it's all that connectivity piece.
Culturalist, mic'd up, those would directly impact a songwriter,
Hopefully.
more so than not.
Yeah, more so than our like industrial corridor work that we're doing along the river or something.
Yeah. Unless you working at the plants or some stuff. Yeah. You had a second question, Kyle?
Oh, the mic, when the mic,
Oh,
the
when mic'd up.
application should be
Alright.
in a month.
Bet. I can't count. I got you. What's up?
What is, I'm sorry, what? What does the curation look like? So I'm not in charge of it. I mean, I would check it out. It's all encompassing though for anything like creative arts. So, I mean, he's got, if you looked at the categories, music is just one of the verticals. And I don't know it's pretty open sourced. So there's not very specific criteria of like, oh, I needed, I've gotten 500,000 hits or, streams. It's pretty open if you're in New Orleans and you've got, or, even, it's actually statewide now. So yeah, it's very open.
Yeah, I scrolled through it. Basically, it's like a Facebook page about you being you in the music space. And then people go to Culturalist, search for the thing you do, and your page pops up. And then they go to your page, and if you sell yourself well, they'll be like, hey, I want to hire you.
Right. Or, your announcements, hey, I've got a gig. There's ways to communicate, I believe, if not yet, with your fans. And there's different tags, right, around kind of what your genre might be and kind of across genres as well.
Yeah. Anyone else? Questions, concerns? Boom.
So we haven't, Offbeat is obviously, they were supportive of us. And then, I don't know if Alex Rawls he's a writer. He used to be the editor of Gambit, or Offbeat, and then worked at Gambit. I know he was interested in starting like a music business. What's that? Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Sounds like you're in.
And then I know Reed Wick has started a LinkedIn group around like New Orleans music biz. If you looked on LinkedIn, but I think he's more kind of just pushing articles out than he's not creating any. But yeah, Alex and I we chatted quite a bit about how we could, push what he's trying to do with the internships and those things. So I mean, super creative, smart guy.
Anybody? All the questions or concerns? All right, bet. So, G&O Inc., you want the music industry in New Orleans to be great, and you all are putting together.
Keep everyone here.
Yeah. We want the talent to stay and not leave. I dig it. Well, thank you, Grady.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank Grady, y'all, with a nice applause.
Appreciate it.
And now, Bara. Let me see. Oh, nope.
Yeah, that was right.
Oh, that was right. Presenter view? Oh, look at that.
There you go.
All right.
It still has like the type header thing on there, but that's okay.
All right. Uh-oh.
That was left on there.
Look at me. I'm going to end it and go back because I'm just pressing buttons, y'all. I feel like an old man. Okay. Bara, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'm just going to do an intro and then talk a bit about stuff. I'm new to New Orleans. I moved here in August, and I'm executive director of entrepreneurship here, and I run the Center for Entrepreneurship and Community Development. And I'm a former artist, and I believe anybody in the art field is an entrepreneur. I don't care if you have a job or not. You are always going to be, you will always will be an entrepreneur. So getting you to think like that and understand how to think, what the tools are, is really something very passionate to me. So I just want to give you a little background on who I am, and then I want to sort of talk about what we're doing and why. I'm going to go by decades here. In the 70s, I was in New York. I was a dancer. I had a dance company, and I had a nightclub act. In the 80s, I went to work in the movie business. I started in the home video business in New York with MGMUA and moved out to Los Angeles, became director of worldwide promotions for 20th Century Fox. Then stepped out, started my own company for about 8 years, sold it, and moved in as a vice president at Universal Studios. Then I moved to Cleveland, so in the 2000s, I came to Cleveland. I had a young daughter, and I'm raising her, and I started a couple of different things. I started a web media company called Uncommon TV, where we did a whole bunch of web programs, mostly around career ideas, but using sort of ridiculous, silly TV kinds of things called, one was Got City Game, and there's a whole bunch of other ones. It's still up on YouTube if you ever feel like looking at it. So my background, I've been working in the entertainment industry mostly, to a large extent, but I've been in the business side of it for a really long time. And more than that, I've been an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur the entire time I've been in business. So when I was in New York as a dancer, I had a dance company, and I was a choreographer, and I did some stuff for TV and for other things in my own shows. And when I moved into the movie business, I started at the bottom. I did a pivot and started over in that area, in that industry. Saw a problem, started thinking about it as an entrepreneur. Went to my boss, figured out how to pitch it to them. He gave me some money. I started working on it. In a year, we made $10 million on the idea. Now I'm being promoted, and so forth, right? So those skills that I learned, or that I was able to start developing during those years, are the skills that I have come to think every artist, every person in your field needs to know and needs to practice. Whether you're starting your own business, your own music label, your own management company, or anything, you need to know these skills. So I just want to talk you through just a couple quick things here. Well, first, I belong to a writing group, and we had to write this poem thing, which I'm not really good on the poetry stuff, but I wrote this in my little poetry group. It's a group of people that I meet with online now from all around the world at 6 in the morning. And so I'm going to have a little fun with this, and this is what I wrote, because this meeting was on my mind, and I'm going to have a little fun with this. So, something new. Hey, New Orleans, it's time to think something new. Time to imagine opportunity uniquely for our town. We need to imagine ways the industry can stay true to the spirit of creativity that gives us our own sound. Time to imagine opportunity uniquely for our town, harnessing the brilliance and sunshine that feeds in to the spirit of creativity that gives us our own sound, and find new ways to think, new ways to give it spin. Harnessing the brilliance and sunshine that feeds in with our diversity of hearts, our minds, and origins, and find new ways to think, new ways to give it spin that will bring greater success to everyone within. With our diversity of heart, minds, and origins, we need to imagine ways the industry can stay true that will bring greater success to everyone, all within. Hey, New Orleans, it's time to think something new. And the reason I bring this up is I've been thinking a lot about where we are right now, and it's really hard to move people from Nashville, from LA, the real money here. They might get a satellite office, they might get an artist, but the money all goes out, right? How do you reinvent the city around the talent that's here? I have had the glorious opportunity of getting out and hearing the artists in this city, and it is absolutely amazing. So the question is, how do we start thinking new about the business of the business? How do we create something new here that makes a whole avalanche of people wanting to come in and stay here, and where the money flows in, because there's a business piece to it here that is really uniquely New Orleans, and it has to come from someplace new. You can try and pull it in from someplace else, but it always boings back to where it came from, because that's where all their network is. So the only way you're going to really create it is you have to do that, create something new. So I just want to talk a little bit about how you create new. And you might remember going to Blockbusters when you were little kids. And there came a point when this other company came along, Netflix, and said, we're going to try and answer a problem that's in the marketplace. And that is, everybody hates paying for late fees. And they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to let people order it online. It's an unlimited number of selections because you don't have to have it in a retail store. And you can keep it for as long as you want without any fees. You just have to mail it in and mail it out. And Blockbuster and the rest of the industry said, there's no friggin' way that's going to work. That cannot work. Well, it did. And so they started to really capture the marketplace. They were able to get people to bring, the people loved it. And then they were totally then set up when the technology began to shift and the digital connections began to become stronger in the marketplace when G3 launched, and all of a sudden households could actually stream these things. People are already beginning to videotape their shows, TV shows, and watch them later. So they were starting to get trained in how to do this stuff. And so they were positioned to actually create something new. Now, was it so completely new? No, it was the same product, same movies, same everything else. But they came up with a new business model, a new way to think about the business, a new way to think about the customer, a new way to think about how the product is offered up and delivered, right? How to tie in with the technology that was evolving. That's where it came in. Did the movies change? Some maybe, but not really. The talent, the beautiful, incredible talent was always there. It just was a new business model. And now everybody's been chasing them, right? All the other, now we've got Disney and everybody else that's coming online. So, what was new? They created a new business, a whole new way of business that they developed. And then they followed along when web streaming began to happen. And now they're facing a whole new set of dynamics where they've got all these other competitors coming in, and they're throwing gobs and gobs of money into producing their own shows now in order to be able to build their brand even stronger and build loyalty. But they're also coming up with new business models. The Prime business model is one of those. Prime Video. I've got a Prime account, and I used to watch all my videos on Prime TV and the Prime streaming, except now almost everything I like now, they have to rent for $5. But I'm not going to cancel my Prime because I also buy at Whole Foods and I shop it on Amazon. So they've got me locked in. So they came up with a business model that even though, I might have canceled the streaming service, I'm going to stay and continue to pay them their monthly fee because they've got other values that they logged into and they built a whole relationship around. So thinking about the music, the music industry's gone through changes. And, we started with live performances back in the 50s, and then we started seeing recordings. That was a new technology, right? And it created a whole new industry area, and the radio industry began to really pick up on that, right? And so the whole combination of radio and the production of a manufactured product, records, created a retail marketplace. It created huge amounts of money in the actual buying and selling of a hard product, which was the records, right? Which became CDs and so forth. But then along comes the technology, and the sharing started happening with the MP3s and the Napster hits, and all of a sudden the industry goes, whoa, and they were caught with their pants down, I'll tell you. They did not see this coming, and they were not ready, and they're still chasing it to try and figure out how to make this thing happen. The Mac folks were right on top of it when they came in with the whole iShare, the whole idea with the online system to be able to group the music and be able to download it for $1.99, right? And then Spotify has come in, right? And we're all seeing, and all the other streaming services. And now they've squeezed out a lot of them. I mean, what is it, like 1,000 plays before you get $1 from Spotify, as a play? I mean, we need to come up with some new models here, right, that are going to benefit the artists. And one of the challenges is that a lot of these business models are made up by business people and not by the musicians. So who makes the money? The people coming up with the ideas. So the artists and the people who are down on the street need to be thinking about this stuff, and you got to be thinking about the biz. It's not just waiting around for somebody else to come along. So we need to think of something new. This was off of Reddit, YouTube. 1,250 plays before you get $1. Spotify, 315. Amazon Music. So, it's pretty serious stuff, So how do we think about this stuff, right? I mean, we need to think about how the intersectionality of music and all the other stuff that's going on. The record player, when that started happening, that really came out of the industry that was radio and telegraphing and communications. It wasn't initially all about records, right? And so, it began to see its market opportunity. But, the gaming, Grady talked about the gaming market here is a growing marketplace in New Orleans. Not just playing the music for the games, but are there other ways that musicians play together on multiplayers? I mean, start to think about it, explode your brain a little bit, get out of the box. Think about this, start really thinking about how music can integrate into, be the story of, be the way that people connect, all that kind of stuff, right? The social brain, I'm seeing so many videos these days about how music and sound creates vibrations, and those vibrations based on the different tones can create different sensations, emotional, important health type things inside the body, right? Is there new music forms and technologies that could be part of the wellness market, right? The whole global piece, connecting up with others. I was at an event 10 years ago where, before Zoom, where they had musicians playing in Africa, in Russia, in Europe, in South America, in the United States, and they were all playing the same orchestral piece, with each of them playing their own instruments and being able to perform it all around the world, all at the same time. It was a big deal then, right? I, back in 2010, was hired to produce a production on Second Life. Now, you may not know Second Life. It was a big honking deal back in 2010. It's sort of like SimCity, in that it's a multiplayer. You have your own avatars, but people would create little worlds, second worlds, and the colleges were all making their own second worlds too, and people could go and fly from one world to another as an avatar. And so I worked with Case Western Reserve University, and I was producing an avant-garde orchestra in Cleveland called Red and Orchestra, and we were the first ever live orchestral performance in Second Life. And we did it across 3 different campuses. We had avatars, these avatars with cat heads and all these other stuff. We had people from Iceland, from Russia, from South America, from Africa, and they're all talking with each other, and it had a language translator. It was amazing. And one of the most exciting things that happened to me at one point was, we had a whole big TV truck out back that was, to produce this whole thing, and one of the producers was there, and they're watching the avatars, and one of the avatars, little cat avatar, says to the fire avatar, "What does that sound?" And they had a little toy player piano. And so the producer goes, "Camera 1, swing to the piano," and immediately shows down on the piano, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's a player piano." So she's in Iceland, talking to somebody in Russia. We pick it up in Cleveland. Immediately the camera swings, and we see the player piano. Later, after the performance, the conductor came out and actually held conversations with people in the avatar world. They could ask him questions about the performance, and he answered them directly. So thinking about this, where is music going? How do we think about music beyond just the sound, right? How do we get it to our audiences in different ways? Zoom, think about how Zoom everybody's now able to do Zoom. It's all around the world. Technologies, things like VR. How is VR going to change the experience of music, right? Can you be right at a concert? Can you sign up for a festival and be in your own house and watch the thing and pay for it and be able to listen to the whole thing? The other thing is we need to come up with new business models, new contractual structures, new ways that people think about how you put the deals together, how you put the partners together. So that's the challenge. And I would love, and I'm throwing out a challenge here. I'm sort of throwing down the mic, so to speak. I'm not going to do it for real. But I'm throwing it out. I'm head, my organization, the center is community development. Part of our goal is through innovation that we as a college, as a university, are working with the community at large in New Orleans to be able to help the community become more successful. And here we are, this premier music program. And we are in a music city that is absolutely mind-blowing. But we still don't have the business of the business here. Not in a way that we really need it. How do we do that? How do we innovate this? And G&O is doing some amazing stuff, and some of the stuff that they're doing is reflective of that kind of thinking, right? That kind of innovation. But we need to do it even further. We need to be getting you guys coming up with the businesses that are going to really blow it out, that are going to be really unique, new ways of managing talent, new types of talent that you manage, right? New technologies that you're working on. So that's my sort of call to action. And if anybody is interested and want this, I would be more than willing to facilitate a brainstorming, ideation workshop, which I do in all kinds of different industries. And we can bring in maybe some of the business students and mix it up with some of the business community, and see what kind of crazy ideas might come out of it that might actually generate new businesses that maybe could create the next Spotify, right? Or the next industry leader that then becomes a gravitational pull here instead of us having to try and pull them out. So just in closing, we have a couple of programs that we're running right now through the center. Sam has been very busy putting together our speakers. We have a speaker series every Thursday. It's over in the Ideation Lab in Miller Hall. And I heard we were talking earlier, you said the Mid-City Entertainment is going to be one of our groups speaking. We've got Rent-Check, we've got Bob's Burgers, and and the Jambalaya News and Google Grant. So please sign up. You need to go into our website and sign up because we supply food. It's at from 12:30 to 1:30 on Thursdays. We also have two big programs going on right now that we really hope you will all sign up for. Side Hustle Expo. This is the first time we're doing this. We've been hearing so many students have got side hustles, everything from gigging to walking dogs. And this is an opportunity for you to showcase your stuff to everybody else on campus, maybe get some work from it. We are partnering with some of the alumni that'll be there and some of the faculty as well. And you could be selected to win a $1,000 marketing campaign with a marketing company here in New Orleans. And then the other one here, the Launch You. This is a program I've run for a couple of years now. And it's like an MBA on steroids, but just totally focused on your own, focused business area of interest, whatever that might be. You have to pitch your idea online. There's a form, you fill that out, and then you get invited to participate. And it'll be in May. It's 2 weeks in May. And 1 week will be on campus, 1 week will be remote. We bring in a whole army of professionals from New Orleans. There'll be lawyers, marketing people, finance people, tech people, the whole gamut. You'll be introduced to working with actual professionals in the market who will be talking about what they do and how to help you. You're then going to be paired with mentors. And through the summer, you'll be working on your goals to reach, you'll set your own milestones, and you'll be working there. You'll be working with mentors. Mentors will be alumni and business professionals from New Orleans. And then in the fall, you have the opportunity to pitch for a portion of $30,000 to start your business or to help your business grow. You can it can be just an idea, or it can be an early stage business, meaning that you've already got some level of sales or some type of transaction already happening that has proven that it's a good idea, but you still need to figure out how to make it grow. So I hope that you'll go online and you'll check out those opportunities and you'll participate with us on that. So, hey, let's do something new. Questions? Yeah? Yeah. Hi.
Go to Loyola at Loyola Entrepreneurship on Instagram and click the link in the bio. That's the easiest way to find everything. You just followed me, so I'll follow. Okay, that's what I do.
He's the communications genius in our team here. Yeah. What else? Well, I think each of them has their own history, but I think that to a large extent, there's some level of business organization that was housed there that had the money that brought the artists in. So if it's in LA, it was Columbia Record, it was the record companies, right? And in Nashville, I think it might have started with a lot of the managers in the country western, and then they started to build their own labels in that area. A lot of those labels actually are tied to some of the big LA level, record companies, recording companies. But each market will have its own dynamic, right? And so we can't. Yes, you can look at it to try and get some learning from it, but you also have to. This is a different market, and so we need to figure out how do we do it uniquely, and it's a different time too. So that's why we need to think differently. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get what you get, right? The whole axiom about, if you think you're going to get something different by trying to do the same thing, it's kind of crazy making. So we need to open up the thinking and do something different. Yeah. Well, I think Austin had great music happening there. They had some great clubs. They had a lot of good live performance stuff going on there. It was South by Southwest, which was a tech thing that started. It was back when the tech bubble started, tech companies were starting to really, and became really hip. That's when and they married it up with the music scene. They did a whole sort of mashup. And that's what really put Austin on the map, was that South by Southwest festival. But it wasn't just the festival, it was the mashup between the technology and the musicians. Other ideas, questions, thoughts? Yeah. Meta, like Facebook Meta? That's what I'm looking for you guys to do. I'm just gonna tease it out to you guys, but this is where we need to connect you guys with what our IT folks over in the other college, and get you talking with them, or if you're a gamer, how do we start mashing that stuff up? Where is it gonna go? Where's the big ideas? I could throw out tons of really cool stuff, but it's you guys that are gonna make the businesses. That's what I'm here to help you help you move those forward, right? So I expect you to launch you with your idea. Others? Any's? What is our timing? We're at 6:01. So anything else before we wrap it? Yes? I'm glad you asked that. Actually, yes. Launch You is for the entire Loyola family. That includes students from first year through graduate level students, alumni, faculty, staff, and parents. Anybody who is one degree of connections to the college, you are totally invited to be participant in this. So absolutely, please do that. We'd love it. Anything else? Rainey, any thoughts before we wrap? Yeah? Thank you all. Have a good night.